Hello. This is part 19 of Ninja News. I'm your host, Ninja Johnny Boy. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode. If you're just joining us, welcome to the series. I'm mostly do news and with a bit of gameplay. Right now I've got some Minecraft online PvP. Something that's new to me. I haven't played PvP in a long time. This is jeez. Shovel? No, not. God. Anyway, it'll come to me. The point of the game is to break blocks by either throwing snowballs at said blocks or just digging up the block. There's a few layers. Everyone starts at the top layer, and last one alive, assuming that you don't fall down into the lava below, last one alive wins. Pretty fun little game. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. Hope your week has been a good one so far. Mine's been quite well. Got another interesting article for you guys this time around. Let's get into it, shall we? Ontario School Board tosses Shakespeare for indigenous writers. Do 15th century Veronese landlords in William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet resonate with Canadian kids? Probably not. When parents in Ontario's Lambton Kent District School Board learned the mandatory grade 11 English course was being replaced with an indigenous literature course, their responses often invoked that 500-year-old icon whose shadow still falls over all English writing. So my kids don't have to study Shakespeare? Was the common reply, said Superintendent of Education Mark Sherman. As of this September, for those in grade 11 at least, the answer is no. Instead, they will be reading and studying novels such as The Indian Horse by Richard Wagamese, Medicine River by Thomas King, My Name is Sea Pizza by Shirley Sterling, or As Long as the Rivers Flow by former Ontario Lieutenant Governor James Bartleman. This indigenous turn of a high school curriculum is an abrupt departure from the Canadian high school standard of mainly studying literature from the two great cultures against which Canadianness is traditionally triangulated, Britain and America. Sherman is going to quote saying, "Hey, I love The Lord of the Flies, I love Shakespeare, but really, we're talking about the 15th century Veronese landlords, Romeo and Juliet, or something like that. Does that resonate with Canadian kids, or the British schoolboy class culture? Modern plays in the high school rotation are likewise dominated by New York playwrights like Arthur Miller, to the exclusion of indigenous Canadians like Thompson Highway. Students will still have the chance to study The Catcher in the Rye and King Lear, for example, in the other four compulsory English courses over their time in high school. This is just taking a part of it and trying to make some of it more relevant to modern Canadian students," Sherman said. Until now, the board has offered optional Native Studies courses in grade 11, focused on history and culture more than literature. Some schools have also occasionally run Native-focused grade 12 literature courses, including several pilot programs designed to test this new curriculum shift. When it comes into effect in September, it will make an indigenous literature course and a constant part of every student's education. It has all the same curriculum expectations as any other senior English course would have, Sherman says. It involves writing, reading, presentation, dialogue, construction of arguments, topic choice, all set up in a way that recognizes and respects the sophistication of the curious teenage mind. He pointed out two current failings of the traditional Shakespeare and Salinger approach in his board, which serves 4 First Nations communities as well as the regions of Sarina and Chatham, Kent. Not only do Indigenous students not see their culture reflected in their curriculum and become disengaged as a result, but non-Indigenous students are not made to engage scholastically with First Nations until late in the educational game. As a result, they can lack an important Canadian perspective. We should start building perspective earlier, Sherman said. In a senior level English course, they have a very high level of moral reasoning and dialogue. There is also a financial incentive in that the board gets more funding for offering courses on Indigenous topics, money that Sherman said has been used for professional development for teachers, many of whom are not Indigenous themselves, and to hire a special projects teacher for Indigenous studies. So this is going to create new jobs. This is going to be great, and it's going to bring, more culture to, Canadian people, Canadian students. I think it's great. I never really learned a lot about Indigenous teachings when I was in school at all. We learned very little about any Native culture in that sense, actually. So this is great. I mean, it's becoming, we're going back to our roots, so to speak, which is awesome. As Sherman describes it, parents and students could not be happier. It's really taken off, he said. Normally, with any big change, you expect some discontent. There has been negligible negative feedback. I think that today's students see things in the media. They want to know more about it. So now it's just part of the natural course to say, hey, we have some brilliant Indigenous writers out there. This was created in Canada. This wasn't written 100 years ago in England or everywhere else, And I think that's great. I think that a lot of different things should be brought into the curriculum that aren't there, teaching not only about different cultures outside of our country, but cultures that are kind of disappearing a little bit. And I think it's a great idea. Sorry, I wish it was a little bit more of an interesting story this time around. I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to lie. Was this, or I'm not even kidding, a meth overdose of a baby? So not even kidding there. But let me know what you guys think of the channel so far. Let me know what you guys think about the topic. Do you like Shakespeare? Hey, I played in a play in school. I played Friar Tuck. I owned it. It was awesome. And I think everything has a place. So it's just a matter of fitting everything in. Alright folks, this concludes part 19 of Ninja News. I'm your host, Ninja Johnny Boy, signing off. Take care.